welcome to episode 232 of the Parkrun Adventurers podcast. My name is Melissa Ellis, and I'm joined by a man who is not adverse to rocking the fancy dress, the anonymous koala himself, Olly Spake.
Hi, Mel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Olly. How are you?
Look, I'm still intrigued as to why I am an anonymous koala. We're still trying to work that out, but I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good. And how's your week been? Shell Harbour on the weekend?
Yes, Shell Harbour on the weekend, back home again after the big travels. It was good to get back home, as much fun as we did have. And, yep, back in the vest, back on the tools, and, welcoming a lot of visitors, actually. There was a lot of visitation going on at Shell Harbour.
Is it still sort of touristy time?
Yeah, it must be that. Well, I think a lot of them were New South Wales based, so I can't put it down to a long weekend because this particular year New South Wales didn't have an Anzac Day long weekend. But, some great representation from so many park runs, and what else? Well, it was PB season too, clearly. Heaps of people achieving PBs, which I think you can probably attest to as well.
And the weather was good?
The weather was lovely. We're at that time, and that's surely the big reason for the PBs. You know, it's that cool morning with the morning sunlight creeping in. Because we do have a bit of beach, you get that sweet spot with the tide, and I think all things were just coming together.
That sounds good.
Yeah, look, lovely morning.
And good to be winding down after all the activity that we had the previous week. I know I've just been glad to come home and collapse and recuperate from the excitement.
Oh, look, wasn't it fantastic? I couldn't cram in enough excitement, but yeah, as you say, it's nice to balance that out and have a quieter week and re-energise the battery. I think the rest of the weekend for me was pretty much just re-energising. So I'll be ready for another adventure soon enough, I'm sure, or another run, as it were. But yeah, nice to have a quiet one.
Yeah, you need to rest up this week. Big event next week.
Yeah, it probably took the rest aspect a bit too seriously this weekend, but hey, it'll all come out in the wash, right?
Taper.
Yeah. And Mel, how was your parkrun day and weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Returned to an event that I was at earlier this year, ran a faster time, so that's always good. That's testament to my couple of weeks away where I got back into my running, I think, and running those hills at Kapiti Beach. So,
and very modest too, a 3-minute PB. That's massive, Mel.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you. It's still trying to get back to where I have previously been, but yes, I'll take that as progress. And I had friends there. Irene and Parth were at Fairpark Reserve, so that's always an extra bonus on a parkrun morning when you're touring and you've got friendly faces. Zoe jumped in and volunteered with Parth as barcode scanner.
Very nice. That
was unexpected, so she actually really enjoyed the role. She quite happy to volunteer, which is very pleasing.
Oh, good work, Zoe. I mean, I trust she enjoyed the app. I'm a big fan of the app.
She did really well with the app. I lent her my phone.
Excellent.
And she was doing the very polite thanking the participants and telling them to have a good weekend and all this kind of stuff. So I was very impressed with her.
Sounds like a good morning there.
It was. So we had a bit of excitement, which you'll hear about later in one of the roving reports, so I won't spoil that. And, off to visit Mum afterwards, which was the reason I was there because that's her local event. And then, juniors on Sunday after Anzac Day. So, huge weekend.
Yeah, big one. So did you have a service, Mel, that you joined?
We did. So at Amesbury, where my junior event is, mine, I don't own it, with where our junior event is, there's a homestead and there was a Anzac Day service there as well. So it was really good, nice and convenient for me to turn up early with the gear in the back of the car, do the dawn service, and then help out with the course setup.
Oh, that's really handy.
Yeah, and we had nice weather for Anzac Day for the service. It was quite mild morning, so the homestead had fire pits all around, but people were congregating around, so it was a really nice touch as well.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been lovely, and I imagine good to get out to a physical service after last year. Obviously, for all of us, was done in lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yep, last year I stood in my driveway listening to the radio for the service. So definitely happy. My father-in-law came down with me. He's a Vietnam veteran, so he accompanied me, and he actually hung around afterwards. Well, he didn't have a choice, actually, because he needed a lift home, but he hung around. He actually walked the course, the juniors course, so he got to see what I'm up to on a Sunday morning.
Lovely.
Which was nice.
Yeah, well, that's a nice way to obviously combine many special features, I should say, of a Sunday Anzac Day. Good to hear.
And we had a few of our juniors getting their 11 milestone wristbands too. So we're starting. I think we're 14 events in now, so we're starting to get some kids achieve some milestones. So that's a bit of excitement for us too.
Very exciting for more of the juniors to be ticking over those milestones. And any milestone is special, but there's got to be something about a couple of those first milestones for those young park runners.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
Speaking of milestones, Mel, we celebrate all kinds of milestones, but I think you can pretty much line up any park runner and find something of a little bit of meaning, no matter how unique, arbitrary, or completely out there it might be. And look, again, while we're still soaking up the joy that we had last week in Palm, but while we were out there, we actually got a couple more roving reports, and probably worth mentioning. We've got an abundance of roving reports, so thanks to everyone who gave us one this week and last week. So, Mel, look, we should probably have a listen, and we have heard from PK, who was celebrating a bit of a milestone of his own.
G'day, it's PK here, checking in for the Channel 5 news crew with a roving report. Apologies for being MIA for so long. Dad moved into aged care, pretty much consumed my life for a good 3+ months. But he is good now. Had to be done, and all that went along with that kind of fun. But anyway, he's now settled, and I can get back into regular programming and share some parkrun adventuring with you all finally. So I started parkrun, and bear with me now for this little story. I started parkrun back at the beginning of 2016, and 5 years later, I've done 167 parkruns in total, volunteered 50 times, so that's turning up to parkrun, 217 times. Most have been in my wonderful South Australia, but back in 2016, I did 3 overseas parkruns at Parth Skyline, Land Hydrock in Cornwall, that was gorgeous, around a castle, and the Mecca, Bushy Park, where I managed to not only turn up at the 12th anniversary of their event, where they had 1,212 people turn up at Bushy Park, but I also met Jesus. Yes, I met Sir Paul Sinton Hewitt, and I did roving reports from all 3 for this podcast. Geez, was that really 5 years ago? But today, finally, after all of that, I am doing my first parkrun in another state in Australia. I'm here in Sydney to see family and also Hamilton the musical, Bring It On. And I've decided to come to Centennial Parkrun. Far out, what a beautiful parkrun course it is. I've just turned up, driven through the gorgeous grounds here. It's nice and close to where we're staying, and it starts early, which is brilliant. It means I can get on with my Saturday. So a 7 a.m. start, love it. I've been told I need to chat with some of the local legends. I've got someone called Shazy, also Lynn, who's the RD today, who I believe is from Adelaide. How about that? Anyway, and there's also a few other little surprises I know they have in store. So let's go and get amongst parkrun. My first interstate parkrun. Woohoo! Well, I have done my first interstate parkrun and survived it. Centennial Park is beautiful. And I'm here with Lynn, who was going to be the RD when we spoke during the week, but then things changed. How are you, Lynn?
Oh, I'm great, thank you. Had a lovely run this morning.
And I saw on your Parkrun Facebook page that, is it Rejuve have taken over? You've got to love it when you get a takeover of Parkrun. Tell us more about that.
Well, we actually put out a call because every week we need 15 to 20 volunteers. So we put out a call to running groups and ask anybody who wants to take over and take all the volunteer positions every week for 1 week. That helps us all. They get to be seen and we get the help. So win-win situation.
I absolutely love it. And there are a few runners here today, a few quick runners, in fact. It's great to see. Obviously, this is a very popular park for equestrian as well. We didn't have to stop for the horses today. Has that happened before for you?
Quite often they're very generous. If they see a heap of runners coming, quite often they'll stop their horse. But technically, we have to stop for them.
We have to stop for them. There you go, because the horses have right of way. Well, it's a beautiful park run. Lots of happy people out here. Lots of 100 T-shirts. Obviously, there's a lot of regular runners, which is great to see. Congratulations. How long have you been associated with Centennial Park Run?
Since it started, actually, 2.5 years. It started in October 2018.
Brilliant. Well, it's a beautiful park run. You should be very proud. And I love that it's in the middle of Sydney, but you feel like you're out in the country. So.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I absolutely loved it. I'm going to go and chat to some other legends now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Good on you, Lynn. Do well.
Okay, then. We'll found a few more legends. I was told to chat with, I said Shazzy, but it's actually Shazzy. But Shazzy's not here, so when you can't have Shazzy, you find another legend. Here's Sam. How are you, Sam?
I'm very well, PK. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm awesome. I've also got Marius.
Hello there, all Park Run listeners.
How are you, mate? Now, look, great to have both of you lads here. Out on the course, I was admiring your 100 T-shirt and your beard and your headband. So a man, after my own interests. I love that. It's an outfit that I usually wear. How long have you been involved with Parkrun, Sam?
I did my first one, PK, back in 2013, but I didn't do one again until 2016 and then started to do it more regularly.
Awesome.
And I just happened to be walking the streets of Canterbury and Sydney and saw the Cooks River Park Run and thought, I knew what Park Run was, so I thought, and I wanted to do a bit of running, so I thought, I just turned up the following week and then made it a regular thing.
Awesome. And is that what, because Centennial, this is like, what, the 80th or 88th, something? It's like under 100, isn't it?
So I started Parkrun before this one even existed. And by that time I'd moved and I was running at St Peter's, which is the oldest park run in Sydney.
Yes, I have heard about it.
7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I got to know Paul Wilcock, who started the St Peter's park run. And he was involved in trying to start this one. And they were calling for, by that stage I'd done about 80 park runs. So they were calling for an event directors and a run director to do this.
Awesome.
And I said, I'll be a run director.
Why not?
Yeah,
I know what to do.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. It was a beautiful park run. I was just chatting with Lynn before, who was going to be RD today, but then you had the takeover, which is always awesome. Great to see people. When you get a takeover, it's awesome that everybody who's on the RD or ED team can actually get out and do a run. So that's obviously brought you out.
Well, very, very grateful to the Rejuve runners today for running this takeover, and it's great, that we get a break for a week and get out and run. That's been great.
Absolutely, and they get to experience volunteering as well, because we know that the world runs on volunteers in so many ways, literally here.
From a world where so many people were just going to run individually and running clubs were on the decline, Parkrun has been instrumental in bringing back the communal, social running culture and getting everyone together again. And congratulations on surviving the lockdown.
Well done. That's awesome, Marius. I reckon Parkrun should take that as a testimonial. That's awesome. But you're so right, mate. It has actually, and it's helped a lot of people with their mental health, just actually being able to get out and run and see people and meet others. So how long have you been doing Parkrun, Marius?
Next question.
It doesn't matter.
On and off. My parents took me to a parkrun 2011, 2012. So what?
Early days.
Yes, back
wow,
in the days.
God, I wish I knew about it that long ago.
Up at Fingal Bay, just north of Newcastle.
Yeah, right.
And I think as a hint, you might like to consider running one of these days. And I think it's only, nearly 9 years later that it's slowly coming in. I'm slowly starting to take that hint on board.
Well, good on you, mate, for getting out here and getting amongst it, because it is beautiful, as you say, and it is a wonderful thing that we can all do and get amongst. But I will let you lads go, because it looks like it's everyone's petering out, and you may want to go and have your post-parkrun coffee. coffee or tea or whatever you do. So thanks, legends.
Thank you, PK.
Good on you, Marius. Good on you, mate. Thanks so much. Cheers, Sam. Far out. There are legends aplenty here at Centennial Park. Centennial Park Run. Oh, Centennial Park Run. Get it right, mate. Anyway, I now have Anne and Verna. Now, Anne, last week, tell us what you did.
Well, I turned 75 and I managed to coincide that with my 75th park run.
Fantastic. I did see the celebrations on your Facebook page, the park run page, and there was cake.
There was a huge cake. It was the most wicked cake I think we've ever seen. I was hoping that all my rivals would have a lot of it and slow them down this week.
It looked great. So what does park run mean to you?
Oh, I absolutely love Park Run, particularly in Centennial Park. I mean, I was one of the founding people here.
Brilliant.
And we had to struggle quite hard to get the Centennial Park Trust to allow us to have a run here,
right,
because they're fairly commercially oriented. They don't get a huge amount of funding and they want everybody to pay things, and of course we don't pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's now pretty well established. We have to struggle a bit every time our lease comes up for renewal, but I think we're becoming pretty institutionalised now.
Absolutely. All the numbers today pretty well talk for themselves, don't they? I reckon 250, I reckon they just came. There's still a few more coming over the line, but good numbers.
Yeah, we do. We average about 240, and sometimes goes up to 3. We've had 4 here at times, so it's quite a popular run. And of course, when the tourists are around, it's one of the first places that the tourists who hit Sydney come and find a park run. They come to Centennial Park.
That's why I'm here. Well, I'm staying nearby. I did look at some of the others. Obviously, there's St. Peter's and others, but we're just staying over in Bellevue Hills, so this was the closest for me. So I thought, why not? And Verna, how are you going, mate? How's your park run day?
Very good, very good. Today was my 40th park run.
Awesome, congrats.
Not all of them here.
No.
But my 40th, and it's my 84th birthday.
Today.
Woohoo!
Where's the cake, everyone? 84. That's fantastic. Happy birthday. No, I won't sing happy birthday to you, mate. We should. But that's fantastic, mate. Congratulations. What a way to celebrate your birthday. Doing park run on your 84th birthday. That's very impressive.
I did my first run in South Africa in April 2 years ago.
Wow.
And there it's big.
Yes, I know it's massive. I've spoken to a number of people, South African park runners. They love it over there. How many?
1,600.
Oh, my gosh.
But they had to split them up. There are 3 park runs.
Oh,
now.
wow.
At about that.
Oh, that
so
is
there must
crazy.
Be about 5,000 people.
That is quite a few. Well, how do I know, right? Volunteers, and that we were just saying how the world runs on volunteers, literally, and how much, and how. I mean, you guys, how many volunteers do you need? I've noticed there would be about 10, maybe more than that here, because of the different places to go and whatnot.
Fully manned, we have about 16.
16. Gosh.
Set up the close down, washing the desks, token sorting. And,
of course.
And it's got a bit more complex now with COVID, of course.
Of course. But I think the best thing about today is that new people have volunteered, and I think I'm hoping that they've had a taste of volunteering and they come back and do it again.
Yeah, well, that's a running club, actually. It's Rejuve.
Yeah, I did. I saw it. Yeah, and I met some of the team. So, look...
it's a takeover, and we love takeovers.
I love takeovers. Gotta love it. It means we can get out there and get amongst it. Good on you. Thank you so much, legends. Thank you, Verna, and thank you, Anne. I really appreciate it. Keep park running, and hope you do your you both do park run on your 100th birthday.
That's it.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Thanks, PK.
Good on you guys. Thank you. Alrighty then, that's enough legends for one day. This is PK signing off from another parkrun adventure. My first interstate adventure. Finally, about time I got amongst this parkrun adventuring. I have done it overseas, but certainly not interstate. And wow, what a beautiful course to choose. Centennial Parkrun, highly recommend it here in Sydney. Very much like Bushy Park, driving in through, watching other people exercise. No deer to admire, but lots of horses. So there you go. Anyway, beautiful parkrun course in the middle of Sydney. Highly recommend it. Get amongst Centennial Parkrun and get amongst parkrunning. Thanks. Cheers.
G'day everyone, it's Cam here reporting in for the Channel 5 news crew, and if you can believe it, that is the very first time I've ever remembered to say that for once. This morning, I am at the bright, the beautiful and the wonderful Calleya Park Run, except I've turned up comically early, go figure. And today I am not quite chasing my Pirate Club, but I suppose you could say reinforcing it with a second run at this event. And what's a Pirate Club, I hear you ask? What's a Windexer? What the heck's a P-Index, a Passionista? What are all these weird terms that we keep throwing about with wild abandon? Well, they are part of statistics and running challenges. Just to, I don't know, really spice up parkrun, but just to get a bit of extra quirk and kick out of visiting fun places and talking to people, we make up all these random things around parkrun, just basically for giggles. What's a pirate club? Well, what do pirates do? They sail the 7 seas. So you go visit 7 parkruns starting with C, and then it ends with an R. Fun, isn't it? Yeah, okay, we have a strange sense of humour. But let's see if anyone else has any clue about these running challenges and statistics and all that guff, and or even care. Well, I'm here with
Brent.
Brent, nice to meet you today. Beautiful day out here at Calleya Parkrun.
Yeah.
Now, you say you're not exactly a parkrun regular, but how often you come?
I try to do it at least once a month, but we've got the little one now, so one of us usually has to look after her, but that's no excuse.
Oh, look, I've had little ones. I think it's plenty of excuse. So you say you get around in about 30 minutes?
Yeah, I'm trying to get back down to 25, but somewhere between sort of 27 and 30 is about my time at the moment.
Oh, so that's pretty good. So how many parkruns do you reckon you've done in total?
Probably 30 or 40 over 5 years, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. So you'll be getting up to your 50 parkrun shirt in a little while, won't you?
That would be nice, yeah. That'd be a nice little memento, yeah.
Nice bright red shirt.
Yeah.
Now, were you aware that there's all kinds of weird and wonderful statistics surrounding parkrun?
I know some of them, but yeah, tell me a bit more.
Well, there's this fun thing called a pirate club. Have you ever heard of that?
A pirate club?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you need a parrot?
No, but that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But what you do is pirates sail the 7 seas, so you try and run at 7 parkruns starting with C, and you end up with an R at the end.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard something like that, yeah.
So you've at least done 1 C. Have you done any other Cs?
I'm trying to think. I did a few in Brisbane, I think, over there when we were there, so...
Oh, Brizzy's nice, I hear.
Yeah, starts a bit earlier over there because it gets a bit warm. Cottesloe I've done.
So 2 Cs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a few others, but none come to mind at the moment, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I've got about 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, lovely chatting with you.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you around the traps.
Cool.
Maybe at another C.
Yeah, cheers.
Okay, I'm here with...
Shannon,
nice to meet you, Shannon. Lovely top, Shannon. I did accuse you of being a runner, but you said not really, but I think you are.
thank you.
And then you admitted to being a run director, so I think you've got a bit of a serious streak for parkrun. Would you agree?
Oh, maybe. I do like it. It's the best way to start a Saturday morning.
You're absolutely right. Now, I'm assuming as RD and being around parkrun for a little while, you would be aware of some of these weird statistics and running clubs and challenges that are abound or that people follow?
Yes, some of them. More the Strava-based ones, not so much the
Strava-based ones. Oh, you don't know of silly clubs like, I don't know, Passionistas doing 100 runs at a particular park run? No? Or Regionaires, states, people?
Oh, I do. I know there's people who go for to get all the runs in one state and things like that.
Any particular statistic that you like to try and sort of finish or attempt or have done in the past?
It'd be nice to be able to run every park run in WA eventually.
Oh, yeah. I hear that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, we got to travel a fairly long way to do all the WA ones. So
apparently not as far as other states, as I found out the hard way a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes, apparently I was well schooled in sort of not as far flung that WA is as compared to, say, everywhere else in Australia. Oh, well. Okay, well, lovely chatting to you. I'm trying to find some stats nerds. Do you reckon there's any around?
You've picked the wrong person. I'm not a stats nerd. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Probably not here today, but one of our other RDs, she would know all the stats. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. All right, let's see what everyone else says. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with
Daniel.
Daniel, nice to meet you. Hey, beautiful run out here today, isn't it? Calleya's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a really nice one, and we don't get a huge amount of people, but it makes for a really nice park run.
Fair call. All right. Well, look, I'm trying to find people who are into parkrun stats and challenges and things like that. Are you aware of all the stats and challenges and fun things around parkrun?
No, not really. Don't know of any of them.
You know, I'm detecting a bit of a trend here in that there's only a very few people who seem to be into this.
Yeah, it certainly sort of looks that way.
Dang it. Okay. Well, I'm going to try harassing more people and see if I can at least get one person who knows a challenge or a stat about parkrun. Thanks for chatting.
No worries, thank you.
Okay, I'm here, thankfully, with coffee with...
Margaret. Jess.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Adam.
All right, gang. I'm not going to remember anyone's name. I'm very, very sorry. Sometimes I forget my own. Now, I've been asking people if they follow any particular parkrun challenges or statistics or anything like that. Anyone?
No.
Anyone?
No, not me.
No?
No, just the run. Just the run.
Just the run. And we're saying that finishing the run was challenge enough, was it?
Getting up in the morning is challenge enough.
Yeah, as it gets colder, it gets harder, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Just feeling good to do the run. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Catching up after the run.
Yep. Social side.
Payoff.
Ah, so we don't really need all this extra fluff around joining the pirate club or the cowl club.
I'm one off the pirate.
I think my motivation is that on a Friday afternoon, it gets me thinking of how I'm going to spend Friday afternoon and prepare myself for Saturday morning. Yep. So instead of having 2 drinks and not 5 drinks, it sets up that habit for how you're going to follow your weekend through.
The weekend. Yeah.
So parkrun prep starts on Friday.
Yeah. Pretty much it does.
No more Friday drinks?
These up. Do you know if the guys, the run director's coming down for a coffee?
He will, yeah. He definitely will, yeah. Sure, thank you very much.
Someone's picked up cones for us. Cheers.
That's nice.
Now, I picked up on something. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but you just turned around and said you are one off the pirate club.
I am. I've got one more C to go. I've done a couple in Sydney, and I see in Singapore. Yes, I've got one more.
So, are you secretly into challenges, but you just don't want to admit it in front of all your friends?
Secretly on that one. Yeah.
Oh.
Until I do turn up to my next C in a pirate costume.
I'm his sister.
Friend, sister. Yeah, okay, I can get that. So I'm starting to think that all these people who follow challenges secretly, they keep it to themselves because they don't want to admit it to everyone else. So maybe everyone else I've been speaking to have just given me shrugs and blank looks secretly is following all these things and they just don't want to admit it.
I think out of our group, you're the challenge person, but none of us really.
He likes to push himself.
I do watch it for
just
everyone,
against yourself, though.
secretly. There's normally another 8 people here, and I do sort of check to see the numbers and where they're at with different things. But I'll let them know quietly how they're gone. But normally I keep them on the down low.
Oh, so you're the challenge guy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The challenge guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and for me, it's just being better than your last self. That's for me. It's not a challenge against anything else.
No, you challenge against yourself.
Yeah, competing against yourself sort of the previous time.
Yeah.
Except I used to be better and now worse.
That person that's not staying at home, just getting out and doing it.
Yeah.
Like Adam, you always said, you're not that person on the couch. You're that better person. That's the challenge.
Already winning you.
Yeah.
Better you.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think there should be a getting off the couch challenge. That sounds pretty good.
How many times did you do that exercise this week? Twice, 3 times. Well done.
Absolutely. There needs to be medals.
Yeah.
Badges.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been very illuminating. I'll see you around the traps.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Great to hear from PK, and glad to know that your dad is doing well now, PK. And we heard from an octogenarian, Olly, Werner.
Yes.
Werner from South Africa.
Yeah, so definitely one for the spreadsheet, or the folder, as it were, or the Facebook group, if that gets up and running, John.
It is indeed.
Yeah, what a way to celebrate. That was fantastic. And, look, can I just add, Centennial is a beautiful parkrun course. It's a lovely spot in the park there. So good pick.
Have you done that one?
Yeah, I have. And yeah, it was a nice morning also. I've got to agree with PK. The 7 a.m. start was a nice change from what I'm used to, just like last week. And yeah, really nice vibe, really nice crew there amongst the trees that line the paths around the area of the park that they park run in. And it sounds like PK had a lovely time there.
Is that the same area where you sort of start City to Surf?
Not quite, no. And actually thinking completely different, in fact. That's Hyde Park, which, I think as the crow flies is not all that far. But Centennial Park I'd never been to until I did a run through there 5 years ago now. And it's just gorgeous, huge grounds. The horses there are something special. Nice big green space amongst the city, of course, which we all enjoy.
Oh, clearly I've not been there either, because every time I hear them talk Centennial, I'm always imagining Hyde Park.
Aha, yes. Hyde Park times many. I recommend a trip to Centennial, Mel. Next Sydney trip, whack it on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
But what a way to celebrate for PK. Congratulations, PK, a special parkrun number 168.
Sounds like he had a action-packed weekend planned with the theatre, family, parkrun.
Yeah.
Sounded pretty good.
Yep.
And Cam at Calleya asking everybody if they're into statistics or running challenges.
Yeah. And do you think, Mel, that maybe Cam was onto something, that just maybe there are a few closet challengists that don't quite announce it? Or is it just a few of us?
I think we're a unique lot, us challenge chasers. What about you, Ollie? Do you chase anything in particular?
Oh, look, gradually taking my rowboat across the 7 seas. So one day I'll paddle across. Still only in the 4th sea.
Well, you've got Centennial.
Well, yep, done Centennial. Look, there's an abundance of seas near me. I mean, I live on the coast, so clearly. But there are some great options that I just need to organise myself. But then there's that whole Wilson Index number. And I will admit to just a little bit of jealousy when one of the event team crew headed off to event number 2 this parkrun day just gone to get a Wilson Index number 2. So I'll keep my eyes peeled. Yeah, keep my eyes peeled. I don't think a trip to Leeton is on the cards this weekend. So
that would be a hike.
Yeah, a bit too much on this weekend. But yeah, again, it's the long game for me. I gradually tick them over and just take it all in from all of you. Yeah. What about you, Mel?
I'm not really chasing anything like that at the moment. I'll fill in a Wilson Index here and there just for the sake of trying to feel like I'm achieving something for the weekend. But I'm not too fussed by it, to be honest. I just like exploring. I like going to new events and exploring the areas around and meeting new people. That's my thing. That's my MO.
Yeah. Oh, look, and again, we're very fortunate. We look around, how lucky we are to be park running right now. Probably worth mentioning, of course, Cam's report was from last week, like PK's, and Cam once again had to go without a parkrun day. This parkrun day just gone. So thank you, Cam. We hope is it a short black or a long black? I haven't checked with Dazza what your usual order is there, but I know it's hot. I hope it was just as good without the parkrun.
I'm just scanning down to see if it was in the cafe, but it was not. So yes, I cannot remember his order either.
Well, he was in lockdown, so yeah, understandably couldn't make it to the cafe.
It was an instant.
Okay.
No, I'm joking, because he couldn't get to the cafe. He had to make it himself.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, nice to hear from the West again. And yes, I do believe that the lockdown is being lifted as of tonight, and we are recording on Monday, the 26th of April. So by next Parkrun Day, when this podcast is released, he should be back out there enjoying maybe his local event or his travelling we shall find out.
That's exciting. And hey, look, actually, just in terms of getting back out there, I know we've been seeing a few of our UK listeners and a few other UK park runners getting out for different events. Obviously, Juniors is back out there, and it's fantastic to see. Saw another. Well, I'm going to say, once again, I'll plug the name, Shell Harbour Park runner, who's now living over in the UK, do the first event back. So. No, it is good to be seeing more and more, get that opportunity. We still can't predict where it's all going, but great to see and well done.
So the Shell Harbour Park runner went to Juniors, is that what? Because the seniors...
Well, no, in fact, was in a running event. So our former event team member, Amanda Rogers, over there in the UK, took on the first running event since I suppose since the conditions have been lifted. So she, like everyone, are eagerly awaiting June and the changes to come for parkrun for all the grown-ups in June in England.
The grown-ups.
The grown-ups are being very patient. But, she took on a 10-mile race out there, up in the north there.
Okay. You don't remember the name of the race?
The name of the race... I think it was actually, here we are, yes, the big flat runway races at Elvington Airfield. So, nice. Well, it looked flat. I understand it wasn't maybe all flat, but, series of events there. So, well done.
Sounds like one our friend of the podcast, Mr. Gary Murphy, would enjoy at an airfield.
I reckon.
I like those unique events.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Running places where you maybe couldn't necessarily usually go, and it would be pretty quiet at the airport at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. And my understanding here is that this one is used for all sorts of different events, but like pardon me, like you say, it's exciting to get to have that opportunity, and maybe it's without knowing the full context, maybe they are making the most of that opportunity.
Much like running around a racetrack.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be running close to cut-off for that one. We shall see.
Yes, but Ollie, we had many people drop by the cafe this week.
We did. So lovely to see you all. Shout out to everyone that joined us. But it was good to hear from you. And the first of whom, understandably getting in early from across the ditch in New Zealand, Alison King. And Alison had to say, I scored a new stopwatch bingo number with a 40 at Kapiti Coast Parkrun. I now have 4 to go. It's doing well. Sadly, there's no Parkrun cafe and the coffee cart was MIA. So we visited Old Beach Bakery at Waikanae Beach for coffee and pastry. I love their loyalty cards.
And Neil Taylor, we ran for cake on a cool morning at Ginninderra Parkrun's 9th birthday. Happy birthday, Ginninderra. It looked like a chilly start there, Ollie.
Yeah, it's getting to that season, but echo that. Happy birthday. Tracy Wood, morning all. Checked into Chermside this morning with youngest child. This could possibly be touristing as well because I've forgotten where my home parkrun is.
I know a few people with that problem. Chris Fraser, run of ordinary baked goods continues after Wayland Reserve Parkrun number 2. Sausage roll just on a 3. No lamingtons. Substituted with what I think is yesterday's muffin. Wayland Reserve, not particularly attractive, but flat and fast. May be interesting for some, as it is also a big kids' playground racing remote control cars, flying remote control planes, and launching remote controlled rockets. Not sure if they are there every Saturday.
Well, it sounds action-packed, and Chris telling it how it is.
Yes, he's a straight shooter.
And we also heard from Claire Stutchbury, rainbow lattes at Piggyback Cafe, following our 80th different event at Rocks Riverside.
And the photo of Jack there sitting under the sign that says this little piggy with the very rainbowy coffees.
Yeah, there's one to visit, that's for sure.
And Belinda Taylor volunteered at Sirame. If you zoom in, you can see the wallaby heading towards the finish line. They've certainly got some wildlife happening up there in Queensland.
Yes, yeah, they do. They do. Good to hear from you, Belinda, and great to see you last weekend, of course. Bruce Purdy, we are enjoying the sensory attack of the Papal markets for post-parkrun breakfast. Hashtag join the Peel Club today.
Well done, Bruce. And Bruce ran at Nightcliff up in the Northern Territory.
Well, that's certainly a challenge achieved. Well done.
Ingrid Botha. I'll have a post-parkrun pancake stack, thanks, Dazza. Ran at Calleya today, which was chilly but as lovely as usual. The tailed tail walker was a dog the size of Paris, but wasn't actually Paris, who was sleeping in this morning.
Ingrid, I'm going to have to check my notes. Which dogs, which once again. But can I just add Dolls Point back this weekend? Very exciting.
Oh, is that Ingrid's home parkrun?
I believe I've seen Ingrid's name on the volunteer roster.
Right.
I will eat my words if I'm wrong. Sorry, Ingrid, but I hope it's a wonderful morning. And, of course, we also heard from Erica Liotta. Zilmere today for my 8th visit there. Ran into a friend who I met when touristing at Ipswich Parkrun. Last time Kay took us to her favourite breakfast. This time I took her to mine at Fuel & Co.
8 Z's. Wow.
That's a very sleepy morning.
It is. Okay, I've just moved the screen. Now I've lost my spot. Erica. Sam Schroeder. I'm having volunteerism adventures while I sort out my broken knee. Oops, fell while searching for coffee. Today I handed out tokens at Bowral Parkrun. And Sam putting a nice positive spin on things, and looked like a pretty sunny day there at Bowral.
Yeah, Sam's doing great work helping the volunteers there. We'll see you soon, Sam. Speaking of see you soon, Beck Bailey. Sunny morning at Lake Mac Parkrun. Halfway through my alphabet now and off to get a post-run sausage roll. It sounds like she's taking tips from Chris.
It's a bit of a thing, isn't it? This sausage roll thing?
Yeah.
Joanne Ward. Great to be back at Home Parkrun Maitland. Been a while because of work. Coffee van back also, so almond milk latte for drive home.
Nice. And Carolyn Layton. No parkrun today for us. Early morning kids tennis, but now home stalking results and planning parkrun adventures for next week when the tennis team has a bye.
Tough one when you have a parkrun clash with kids' activities.
Probably provides a bit of motivation for that planning, so I hope you enjoy.
Sally Heppelston. After a few weeks close to home, back on a solo adventure to my Nendi, Warrigal. Dog was not happy I didn't take him. I was happy with 27 minutes on a course with a few bumps. Very pretty and friendly. Sad I didn't have time for coffee. And Sally's understating the bumps. It's a nice little hill on that course that you have to do twice. And she's looking fabulous. Shout out to Supercell. She's very fit and trim at the moment.
Charging around. Well done, Sal. And Caro Voss, back to Woy Woy Parkrun as a VI guide and then a yummy brekkie.
Well done, Caro, and friend of the pod who we missed very much at Palm this year. I think it's the first one, Caro. Is it the first one Caro's missed?
I think it may have been, yeah. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you hopefully next year, Caro, if not before.
Parth Bombercanty, volunteer at Fairpark Reserve Parkrun, and a bonus to be the car park marshal today. Gave me an opportunity to meet Adam Pike, elite athlete and 1500 metre specialist. Represented Australia once, broke his 5K PB, achieved his goal of sub 15 minutes. Also interviewed him for the Parkrun Adventurers podcast. Feel privileged. Irene was timekeeper to see Fairpark's record broken in this spectacular way. So well done to the Bombercanties.
Yeah.
They were there, and that's where I was, Ollie, at Fairpark Reserve, and it was very exciting to see an elite on the course doing amazing things. And it's not a flat course either by any stretch of the imagination, and it's got two turnarounds. So to do that time under those circumstances, it was pretty impressive.
Well done. Huge well done to Adam, certainly, and to yourself, both for your PBs. Great work.
Yes. I think his was a bit better than mine.
And we look forward to hearing about it too shortly. And we also heard from Louise Minty, back to lockdown in Perth, so had a not park run at Point Walter. A beautiful morning for it, and the coffee and cake were perfect.
Well, we hope Perth will be back to parkrun soon.
Yes. Yep. That's right.
And another of our friends from over that way, Cameron Drake, who we've just heard from, is the not in not parkrun always lowercase as well? Asking for a friend. At least there's always coffee.
Yep. Good to see Cam always seeing the sunny side.
And yes, Cam, it's got to be all lowercase. Everything to do with parkrun is lowercase. You must know this.
And we heard from Val Warwick. Being without our car, we walked the 3.5 Ks to our home parkrun, Devonport. I know that runners do those Ks in warming up, but for this old park running walker, it was a long warm-up and then cool down after coffee, of course. So parkrun for me today involved 12 kilometres, but for Steve, who came back for me after he'd run, there was a bit more going into his old legs.
Wow.
Nice work.
That's a good effort, Val.
Extra value.
That's dedication. Daphne Day. Well done, Carmel. Maybe I may be able to beat my husband by a minute one day. Got to have a goal, I am told. My first parkrun since lockdown today, and I did the 5K and had Paul looking after me, telling me not to go on the grass as I may go over on my ankle, and he did not want to carry me. He really is a caring person.
Nice.
Not quite sure who Carmel is, but maybe Daphne can get back to us and let us know.
Yeah. And we also heard from Andrew Turner. A trip to Karkarook with the Achilles crew for Amanda's 250th. She founded the Melbourne Achilles group, and around 25 of us turned up to run, walk and guide.
Very good. And there was a stunning photo of Amanda in her yellow and green Achilles colours at what we down here like to refer to as Khaki Parky.
Khaki Parky. Yep, shining brightly.
And Peter Dunn, timekeeper at Coburg. Great course, fantastic volunteer team. And I've got to say, Coburg is one of our events down here that is absolutely spectacular in autumn when those leaves change colour. It's a great time to be going to Coburg.
Okay, noted. Adelina Trott travelled to Bright, not only for parkrun, but to admire the magnificent autumn colours. After parkrun stopped at the local farmers market and had an egg and bacon roll, plus a handful of local produce to take home. Win-win.
Yes, good to see Adelina out enjoying regional Victoria, and Bright is renowned for its beautiful autumn colours.
All right. Well, noted for next year then, I suppose.
You got a very long list, Ollie.
Yes. Got a dream.
And Tony O'Connell, road trip to New South Wales to assist a new team with a launch at Leeton. They did good.
Well done, Team Leeton. Well done and welcome. And last but certainly not least, Chantel Hosking did Warringal Parkrun today and then a late visit to Dazza's to prepare for Amesbury Juniors on Sunday.
Yes, and thank you for volunteering at Juniors, Chantel. And yes, I received a selfie who needs a doorbell when you can just receive a selfie from your guest at the front door with your Buddha to know when somebody's arrived.
Oh, that sounds like a condition of entry now, Mel.
He doesn't let anybody past, you know. Well,
hopefully not without a latte. Yeah. No, thank you, everyone.
Standing room only this week at the cafe.
Yes. Yeah. Look, and speaking of standing room only, of course, it's the same for our roving reports. So, Mel, we've got another few roving reports that we've heard from, again, Alison, but a couple of new voices, one we've alluded to. So, look, let's catch up on all the parkrun goings-on from this week just gone.
Hi everyone, it's Parth here. I'm at Fairpark Reserve Parkrun today, and I have the utmost pleasure of saying hello to Adam Pike. Hi Adam.
G'day, how are you?
Adam Pike has represented Australia. How many times have you represented Australia?
Just once at the World University Games in 2017.
Thank you, Adam. And Adam decided to come over to Fairpark Reserve Parkrun. So, Adam, what made you choose Fairpark Reserve Parkrun today?
It's my closest one, and I noticed it was a relatively new parkrun. And yeah, I've run around the trails a lot here for many years, and it was just pretty good to get out here and have an actual race and see some people going around the course. And yeah, it's a great way to start my winter season.
Thank you. You did talk about winter season. So how many events do you have coming up for the winter season?
At this stage, I'm just looking at doing some park runs and some races. I like to just have a big off season through winter so I can get ready for the next track season starting in October. So we'll wait and see what the year brings and how fit I get, and we'll set some targets soon enough.
Well done. Adam, your run today, I noticed you came in first, of course. What was your time today?
14:58, so I achieved my goal going under 15 for the first time, so I'm very happy with that.
Well done and congratulations. And so what's, in terms of your summer running calendar, what are the events that you're hoping to get into?
The biggest one on the calendar in the domestic season is the Nationals, which we just had last week for this year. And so, yeah, it's always good to go there and just do the best that you can. And I'm a 1,500 metre runner, so championship races are so tactical and you never know what to expect, so you got to be on your A game. So throughout the season, track season, we do a lot of races, whether it's in Victoria or New South Wales, and we build up to those nationals. And then beyond that, we hopefully get to go overseas again and do some racing on the European circuit. So that's the ultimate goal for next year.
Wonderful. So is the European circuit in fact, let me ask it this way. What are 3 of your favourite running memories and what made you say that?
One of my fondest ones was from Europe in 2017 in a meeting in Leiden, that was in the Netherlands. That was my first ever international race, and I was ranked number 9 in the 1,500 in the field there, and I went out and I beat an Olympic finalist and won that race in half a second outside my PB, and
fantastic. That
was probably one of my most immediate memories I think of. And then another one through school, through the APS, I had some great wins there, and that was in front of all my friends from school and my childhood. And then the last one, the third one, is just it's the training that I do, and I'm coached by my dad, Martin Pike, and you know, one of my favourite things is just to get out training and have him there supporting me and just trying to get the best out of myself. So.
Wonderful. Adam, thank you ever so much for this interview, and all the best today, and congratulations on your first park run. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good morning, park runners. It's Alison King here, calling in for the Channel 5 news crew from Kapiti Coast Park Run in New Zealand. And Kapiti Coast is on the lower North Island. It started in 2015, and this is my very first visit to this park run. And let's see who we can find. So I'm with Florrie and Joanne at the finish of Kapiti Coast Park Run. How was that for you today, Florrie?
It was fantastic. A lovely run along the river. Really enjoyed it, and it was easy to come here as a visitor and just go out and back. That sort of made it easier as well.
So what's your home park run?
I actually the home park run is Anderson Park Run, but we've got Flaxmere and Hawke's Bay as well. Yeah. So I'm actually closer to Flaxmere, but I do both. Love both.
And what's brought you down today?
We've got a habit of going away for weekends, being a bit of park run tourists. So we just thought Kapiti would be nice. It was one that we haven't done before. Some of us have done the Wellington ones. So yeah, we're just stretching ourselves north.
So not counting your home park runs, Anderson and Flaxmere, what would be your top 3?
I enjoyed Greytown, the Woodville one, because I ran with my dog there, and so that was a really nice park run to do. Top 3, gosh, Anderson Park. Apart from Anderson Park, did you say? Joanne, help me out here. Top 3.
Oh, my top 3 are different. I love Gisborne and Taupo.
Oh, Gisborne and Taupo. Oh, Wanganui. Wanganui was lovely. Again, along the river. And the artwork along there is really nice. And, Invercargill. The park is beautiful. Queen's Park in Invercargill. Definitely recommend it. And we got free ice cream that day.
Nice. You sound like you've done quite a bit of touring. How many events have you done?
65 and 13 different ones.
Awesome. 2 more to get on the most events table.
Is that right?
Yeah, on the New Zealand most events table.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And how about you, Joanne? How did you find that today?
Today was absolutely lovely. There was rain last night, so I was a bit nervous it's going to be wet. So it was absolutely beautiful this morning. I'm standing in the sun melting, which is rather nice for this time of year. Yeah. I just loved it. It was really easy to follow people. Everyone was really friendly. I really wanted to stop and take photos, but I was trying to run the whole thing, so I'll have to walk it to take some photos. It was beautiful, absolutely stunning.
And who gets to choose where you go away?
We meet for coffee and we decide where our next one's going to be.
How often do you go away?
Probably about twice a year.
Okay.
We try and get probably a spring one and an autumn one, and we started it a few years ago and we've done a few. Wanganui was our last one previous to this, so we did that post lockdown, so that was quite nice to get away, and we did, I think, their second one or their third one. It was quite nice.
So what would be your top 3?
I loved Gisborne. I thought Gisborne was beautiful. I thought, what other ones? Lower Hutt was probably the biggest I've done, and that was different because it was just massive. You felt just, and it was the first out and back I'd done. And I enjoyed Taupo just because it's a beautiful setting, and I love Taupo, so they're probably my favourite ones.
And they're all out and backs?
Most of the ones, the one I'd love to try that I haven't had a chance to do is Dunedin. I lived there and I'd love to do the one down there, but it just hasn't happened yet, so that would be next, but that's a little bit difficult to organise a trip for from Anderson Park.
And I've heard that's the reputation of being New Zealand's hardest park run.
Yes, and that's kind of why I'd like to see it, because it's a beautiful, I love Dunedin, so I'd quite like to see what their park run's like, because we're a bit spoilt in Anderson Park because it's quite a flat run and it's kind of sealed, so we started off easy there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Cool. That's a great idea.
So I'm with Megan. How did you find that today, Megan?
Oh, that was actually gorgeous. I love the park run. It's just so scenic. I did take too many photos.
Is there such a thing as too many photos on a new park run?
No.
How many different ones in New Zealand have you done now?
This is number 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 more to get on the most events table.
Oh, okay. Is that all? I didn't know that.
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
And so which one's going to be next?
Hopefully Rotorua.
Yeah, so Puarenga Park Run. It's my home run. Get used to the smell.
Got used to that with Tarawera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that you're on a girls' trip.
We are?
Yeah, so who chose this one, or was it a consensus?
We did look at going to Rotorua initially, but there was nowhere to stay, so we came down here. But I'm an instigator in these trips. They'll tell you that.
Yeah. And what are your top 3 park runs?
This would be one of them. Porirua. Third one, probably Anderson.
Oh, not counting your home one?
Stink. That'd be Western Springs.
Okay, what about Western Springs do you like?
Just the fact that it's just a nice one, and you go past a zoo, you can hear those animals.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool, well thanks so much.
Thank you.
So I'm here with today's run director, Bruce. So how was your park run today, Bruce? Did it go well?
Yeah, it was a pretty good event today. Luckily we've got some good tracks, so it's quite good too. Doesn't matter the weather, we still have a good run here.
But it's a beautiful day. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it was beautiful today. Last night was some fairly heavy torrential rain, so there's a few of us that were a little bit worried. But even if it does rain, our track's pretty good. We can run well in it.
Yeah. How many do you think you had today?
We're looking at about 120, I think, today, which is pretty good numbers for us, especially being a long weekend.
Yeah. And so how did you get involved with Parkrun?
So my wife ran Parkrun and then wondered if I could come and volunteer. I used to be a runner. I used to represent the Air Force and the police in cross-country running, but I permanently injured my foot a couple of years ago. So for me, it was a chance to give back to running because I'd run for so many years and help everyone else out and try and get some more runners into the fray of running.
And what do you enjoy about this park run?
It's a good community. We've got a good lot of volunteers, and it's a beautiful park run up and down the Waikanae River, so you can't really beat it.
Yeah, you wouldn't really come here for anything else, would you?
No. The view's amazing and the run's amazing. So it's not one where it's a nice scenic run, which is good for people to enjoy.
Yeah, a bit of gravel underfoot to make it a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, there's a little bit of gravel, but I think it's quite, for me, when I used to cross country run, that was quite the enjoyable part, having a different surface to run on.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for a great day.
Not a problem at all. Thank you.
And that's a wrap from Kapiti Coast Park Run. As you heard, we had about 120 finishes today. Beautiful autumn weather, blue skies, a few clouds, and now I'm off to go and find some breakfast. So I'll see you the next time.
Okay, good morning everybody. I'm here at Mount Isa Park Run with Lynn, who has volunteered for today. Lynn, tell me about how long have you been doing Park Run?
Approximately 2.5 years, and it's been running for 3 years in Mount Isa.
Fantastic.
So we just had our 3rd birthday.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? And what does Park Run, do you think Park Run means to the community here?
It's a great way to get together. It's about fitness. It's about just pushing yourself a little bit more every time.
Yeah.
But we have a great community here. We know when people are here, when they're not here, and it's a very welcoming place.
Yeah, and you think it becomes part of your every weekly things, isn't it, you know?
Oh, yeah, we look forward to it. My husband's recently retired, and he looks forward to coming down every Saturday to meet with his mates. And,
great. Oh, it's fantastic. And how would you describe your course here? Do you think it's a hard course, a slow course?
It's a varied course because we have sort of like, it's all on concrete, but we have some downhill bits and some run. And after you do it a while, you know where there's a hoodoo area for you that you're going, I've just got to get through that 10 metre or, the 100 metres and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So we have 2 turnaround points, which I know is unusual for some. It would be great if it was just a big loop, but we don't have availability of that.
Yeah, that's right. But you're getting good numbers here. There's a good number here today, and it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, we usually average around the 40 to 50. Sometimes we have up to 70 or 80.
Yeah. That's great. And I think Mount Isa as a community is embracing parkrun. Do you think it's something that's going to grow over time?
I think it will grow over time. It fluctuates depending on, because we're a mining town and there's shift work, and so it depends what shifts people are on. But I think it's growing. It's very welcome. People all know about it. We've got over 700 people registered.
Oh, wow.
But,
But it's a good base, though, isn't it?
It is a good base. So out of the least we've ever had here is maybe 25.
Gosh.
So,
that's great.
Just depends what's happening.
And how do you think the heat gets people here in the summertime?
The heat is a problem. And, starting at 7, even at 7, it can be really hot some days. But, we still do it.
Absolutely.
And we help and jolly each other along. So.
That's right. Well, that's perfect. Thank you for your time. And we'll get this shared out to everybody in Australia.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
Great to hear from Parth, Alison, and we had a new voice today, Jennine Sellers, coming to us from Mount Isa.
Yeah. Look, it's some wide-ranging locations there, and lovely to hear from you all. Always good to hear any roving reports, and look, thank you everyone for sending them in again this week.
Yes, so nice to hear from our friends across the Dutch again.
Yes. Yeah, that's a long list of park runs that I want to do there, honestly.
Yeah, you're going to have to create some kind of way to cut that list short, I think. You're never going to get around them all, Ollie.
It's simple, everyone. I'm moving to New Zealand.
As long as you can still record from over there.
Oh, we can record from anywhere.
And we haven't really had an opportunity, Ollie, to reflect much on the weekend that was Palm.
Palm 2022.
Because we had a lot of activities.
Oh, Palm 2021. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. As you can see. You're right, Mel. Certainly we got the chance to share, and how fantastic was it that we were able to capture the audio. So, again, huge thank you to that excellent technical support there. But
huge.
But that was clearly just a point in the whole weekend, and it really was all about the weekend, wasn't it, Mel?
Oh, it was about the people for me. Really was. It was hanging out. It's like going on school camp, Ollie, only with all the people you like.
Hey guys, we like all the rest of you as well. Just to clarify, correspondence welcome in case you take exception. But you are all invited to school camp next year. But I agree with you, Mel. It was a lot of fun just exploring some new locations. Look, for some, it was revisiting locations, but yeah, just having that laid back atmosphere as well.
If only we could have done all those freedom runs as official ones. Oh. It was fabulous to finally see Kawana. We've spent all these years listening and hearing Kawana mentioned and referenced, but to be there, to see the lighthouse, in the fading light. It was dark when I came across that finish line, but we got to see a spectacular sunset as we ran around that lighthouse.
Yeah. And what about the silo art? Well, tank art, I suppose, technically.
Yeah, I know. That was a little bonus.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess if we had done it on a Saturday morning, we wouldn't have had the sunset, would we?
That's quite right. Maybe a sunrise, but yeah, the sunset I wasn't expecting, obviously given geographical location, across the water almost, looking out from the point there that the lighthouse sits on. And I think, the balmy Queensland April Friday evening, just really added to the exciting vibe of arriving at a palm. So, special thanks, of course, to Mel for hosting us there.
And the venue for our two dinners, that was pretty special. We had a private room.
And
so
and look, some great hospitality. It was good to see. I think it was Saturday night. We almost recruited a new park runner in the security guard there.
I didn't know that.
We tried.
Maybe just like the fancy dress.
Yeah, I think he was attracted to the fancy dress.
So how good were the costumes, Ollie? We haven't told people about the costumes, and they may have seen photos. I did post a few photos, but I think they might have been in the listener meetup group.
Yes, yeah. Some of them have spilt out. I mean, we didn't quite honour the what goes on palm stays on palm aspect because we kind of wanted to share it with everyone. But for those that didn't see, there was some impressive costume out there, some interpretive costume, some quite literal costume, and all sorts of variations in between. Any highlights, Mel?
Yes, yours.
Well, look, thank you for the input on the costume idea there. That was nice to dress up as a parkrun feature that I love that wasn't Shell Harbour.
So for the listeners at home that may not have seen the photo, Ollie was the virtual volunteer app.
Yes.
Some quite impressive arts and craft skill had gone into creating that turquoise and purple ensemble.
Yes, yeah, my attempts at spray painting white paint onto canvas. It was a steep learning curve, but...
Is that how you made it?
Yeah, yes. Well, that's how it started, yeah. Yeah, but hey, when in Kawana, you've got a high standard to live up to, don't you?
Wow, I didn't know you did it that way. That's amazing.
Yeah, but look, it was a lot of fun trying to explain to the other patrons of the Kawana Surf Club exactly what I was. I'm not sure anyone got it.
It's kind of a niche thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Not even all parkrunners would know what the volunteer app looked like, let alone the general public.
That's right. But hey, I didn't have the technology that went with it. So, special shout out to a very impressive stopwatch and barcode scanner there.
I know. She just comes out with the most amazing costumes, does our Mel Urbacher. Absolutely amazing. And the scanner even had a red light that was... What would you call it? Pulsating.
Yes. Yeah. If you didn't know what she was, she almost looked like a transformer at one.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think anyone that has experienced the barcode scanners knew exactly what she was. I was just listening for the beep, and the extra touch of the battery on the stopwatch being taped up.
It was brilliant. But also a special shout out to the Pullmans. I mean, theirs were Sonia as the beach's future incident report. Yes. As a blue bottle.
And you've got to cast the net pretty wide to come up with some incident reports for them, given what they've been through lately.
Oh yeah, true that. And what did the P3 and P4 have on the front of them? The under 11.
Yes.
Who runs alone because he's too fast for his parents.
Yep. No comment. Yep.
And what was the other one? Something about cutting a corner.
Yes.
Can you remember?
I can't remember exactly what it was. I've only got a blurry picture to go by.
Oh, well, anyway, they were very funny, quite amusing.
Yeah, there was a good mixture of, I think, tributes to the local park run, great tribute to, should I say, Shell Harbour.
You got to get that in there, yep.
That's right. Lockhill.
I'm sure we mentioned that at the start. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, just in case, Mel.
Oh, yes, because Chris's wife, Kerry, she came dressed as Shell Harbour.
That's right, yeah.
And we had Chris as Cow Pasture Reserve.
Yep.
Yeah. And yes, some people representing their dream park runs and current park runs as well. So, yeah, it was a bit of fun.
Yep, and a couple more barcodes. A finish token number 1. And the most important part of parkrun, Mel, what were you?
I was brunch.
That's right.
Yes, I didn't make my costume. I cheated, but I bought one, and it was a cupcake. Oh, but Tracy, how good was she with her Wilson?
Oh, yeah, she had me. I went blank in panic, but, represented it perfectly.
Yeah, so for those people who may not have seen the photo, if you cast your mind back to the show in the, I would say 80s, late 80s.
90s. I reckon 90s, early 90s.
Okay. Get onto Google, Ollie, while I just scroll. Anyway, the program was Home Improvement, and in that it was Tim the Toolman Taylor, and he had a neighbour out the back, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Wilson.
I just called him Wilson. Yeah, and you only ever saw his eyes. So, yeah, Tracy had a little row of paddle pops that represented a fence that she held up over her face, and they were all numbered with like Wilson index numbers, and one paling was missing, which clearly is the Wilson index number she's missing. Very clever.
Oh, look, and that's the magic of it. Well done, everyone, and sorry to those we've missed, of course. Dress Up Night, despite the fact that it wasn't a very apt alternative being Wizard of Oz or a movie theme, but hey, we've got lots of ideas for next Palm now.
Oh, I thought it was a great theme, though. Like, everybody embraced it and came up with something, you know. It's very inclusive too.
That's right. Yeah, it's nice to have a lot of scope for interpretation. And fact-checking there, Mel, 91 to 99.
Oh, that really surprises me.
Look, thanks also to the other park runners, local and a bit further afield, that joined us both at the Freedom Runs and at the Fancy Dress. I mean, Brightwater was a pretty nice Freedom Run on the Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
What did you think of the course, Mel?
Flat, which was good after all the elevation we had at Nambour. So I was quite happy about that. And we actually saw some sort of shark fins in the water there.
You what?
Yeah. Did you not notice?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some sort of shark. We couldn't identify what type it was, but my esteemed colleague, Mr. Tony O'Connell, was pretty sure that it was a fin of the shark type.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there it was, happily jogging, walking along and not noticing the, impending doom. I'm sure a friendly shark, yes.
Yeah, so no, it was, what'd you call it? It wasn't really one loop, was it? You sort of went out and around a lake, a man-made lake.
It was kind of like a loop with almost a thread to begin with. I don't know, better description surely than that, but
okay.
A warm-up loop followed by the real thing.
Yeah.
And again, fantastic to meet more of the local park runners. The South Toowoomba crew, obviously, turning up for that, and the Fancy Dress.
E-Man and Robbie.
Yeah,
is that right?
That's right. Yep, and obviously others, from Victory Heights and others around the area. So, look, it was lovely, and then of course the Freedom Run on Sunday morning at Majimba Beach. And thanks to Nella and Jerry for showing us the course there.
Yeah,
what did you think of that one, Mel?
I enjoyed that one very much. It was nice to run with you, Ollie. So thank you to you and Dave for spending a couple of kilometres with me as I tried to get my daily run.
Yes. Yeah, and you kept it up throughout, well and truly.
And there was a nice little view of that mountain at the turnaround point. I've forgotten what it was called.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Was that Mount Coolum?
Maybe. And to know that it's nice and close to the airport for future possibility of tourism to come back and do it officially.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't acutely aware of obviously all the parkrun history in the region. It was great to get, those insights and those sort of first-hand accounts of how things have changed over time. Of course, being a long-time pod listener, I've heard the reports, but after a few people mentioning Town of Seaside Parkrun being just up the road from there, I had to go and explore that one afterwards as well. So, well and truly close to the airport. I had to do the David Moss style run once I realised my walking in thongs was going to leave me late to get the hire car back. But I got it in.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But, I mean, you mentioned that long-time listeners to the pod, Ollie, but perhaps if we were more attentive listeners to the pod, we might have recalled that Brightwater had been mentioned and possibly featured previously, as our predecessor Mel had actually been involved with the setting up of Brightwater. So, oops. Sorry, Brightwater.
It's always good to get a fact check. So I will look forward to re-listening to that one, unfortunately after the event. But
homework.
One job, eh? Yeah.
But yes, Majimba Beach and plenty of sausage dogs to find.
Yes.
I was getting a bit carried away. I cannot not notice sausage dogs now.
Yeah, well, you did a good job at noticing that. How many did you count, Mel?
I've lost count. There was so many. There's so many in Queensland. We went to Sandgate. So after we said our goodbyes to you, Ollie, and headed back down towards Brisbane because we were warned about the traffic, the potential congestion of traffic, which there was on our return to the airport. We took off early and had time once we got down to Brisbane to do another freedom run at Sandgate. And I actually was really, really impressed with Sandgate too. I definitely want to get back for that one officially. That's the one that runs out along the jetty. And, there was sausage dogs everywhere at Sandgate. There was that, and everybody was pointing them out to me. Mel, look. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't possibly go and up to any more people and ask them their dogs' names. Was getting ridiculous.
But no, I was impressed at how you took a very personal approach and got to know the dog and the owner, incidentally, as well.
I know. It's sort of like, I don't know asking permission, like, may I please take a photo of your dog? And then asking the dog's name. So I try to be, a polite stalker. You got to have standards.
Did any of the dogs or their humans say no? No. They seem to be quite accommodating.
There was, I think, one of the ones at Majimba Beach, that first one that Frankie, I think it was. Frankie got a little bit growly.
Yeah, just for clarification for the listeners, that was the dog that got growly, not the human.
No, the humans were quite happy. They were actually quite happy to allow me to photograph Frankie, but Frankie wasn't so impressed. I know, though, from having my own chihuahuas, little dogs and especially unique breeds, they often do create interest from people, and people often will stop and, ask about our dogs. And it's not something that bothers you, You're always happy to talk about your dog.
And so we look forward to more of the same, do you think, Mel, next year? I mean, obviously we announced live on the spot the plans for 2022. And planning's underway.
It is. We're on the hunt for just the right location. Yes, in Tassie.
Yeah, so we'll certainly keep everyone up to date with the plans there. But I'm counting. I don't know how many days I'm counting down, but I'm counting it down.
We'll have to get one of those apps, Ollie, that does the countdown.
Yes.
Once we've picked a date, and I think I'm just going to go for a whole week because it's just never long enough. But then, as Tok said, if we were there for a week, then we would just fill it with freedom runs and we would just be exhausted, wouldn't we?
Exhausted is a word for it. Cup filled.
It's, hey?
Cup filled, essentially.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Overflowing. Definitely. And anyway, where are you next week, Ollie? You have to take it easy, I would imagine, seeing as you've got a big event on Sunday.
Well, yeah, I was looking forward to barcode scanning at the, at the home here, but our roster's pretty much full. So I will be volley coordinating So I will be back home once again. Maybe a light jog around the course just to enjoy that. But something local. What about yourself, Mel?
You just skimmed right over the Sunday.
Yes, it's that one that I've been trying to ignore for so long. Yes, this coming Sunday is Run Shell Harbour. I think it's the second time they've had the event. I've mentioned it before on the pod, so I'll try not to rehash, but it looks like it's going to be a popular one. Lots of local and even some visiting park runners, I think, have mentioned that they might be coming on out. So we'll see. Wish me luck. Second marathon ever. Training nothing like the first, and hey, let's see how it goes.
Oh, I wish you abundance of luck, and I'm sure you don't need it because I have the complete faith that you'll smash it out of the ballpark.
I'll do something.
Well, me, I am I'm going on a road trip.
Excellent. Back on the road. Where's this one?
Yeah, back on the road. This one is called Ovens River Trail, and it's in Myrtleford, country Victoria. Yep. And Paul and we're leaving Zoe with the grandparents, and we're gonna head off for the night and stay locally and enjoy that. There might be some silo art touring involved.
Tick. Yeah.
Yeah, and another big tick. I think I'll have a few fellow tourists up there for event 2 at Ovens River Trail. So
event 2. I'm very happy for you, Mel.
Sorry.
No, I hope that'll be a lovely one.
No doubt it will be, because the Ovens River is absolutely beautiful, and I believe the course is an out and back that does run along the river. So I'm expecting big things.
Oh, we'll look forward to hearing more about it next week, Mel.
And Ollie, should we touch on the obvious omission this week?
I'm not sure whether for legal reasons we're allowed to mention much, Mel.
Yeah, we should let the investigation be completed.
Okay, well, yeah. Look, until we have our next meeting with HR and have further advice, we'll refrain from elaborating too much. But we understand the informant will be back. But, I suppose stay tuned, everyone. We'll have to use our own spreadsheets this week.
Well, we haven't.
I mean, all of us individually.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you meant us, yeah.
Yeah.
As in creating a stats report. Oh, well. Not to worry, Ollie, there's always next week.
That's right. Well, Mel, we'll chat again next week, I suppose.
Something to tell me, Abigail? What number were you?
23.
And how was your run today?
Great.
And have we got Eva, how was your run today?
Good.
And what number were you?
24.
Well done. It was a special morning for you today, Abigail. What did you get?
I got my wristband for 11 park runs, and this is my 11th.
Congratulations. I'm glad to be back. I missed you.
I missed you too.